Hello, 8th grade science students. Our goal today is to make some ionic compounds. So it's all about making ionic compounds. We're going to start with some simple ones, and then in the next video we'll look at some slightly more complicated ones. So our goal is to be able to make ionic compounds, formulas, out of two ions. So you're going to have two ions that you know, and you're going to try to make a balanced ionic compound out of those. So first, we've talked about what ions are. Let's talk about what ionic compounds are. An ionic compound forms when two oppositely charged ions form a group that has an overall neutral charge. So that sounds a little bit strange. Let's look at an example. So our first example is sodium and chlorine. If we look at our periodic table that we've already pre-labeled for ourselves, we know that sodium is going to lose an electron to become stable and become a positive one charge. Chlorine is going to gain an electron to become stable and have a negative one charge. If you don't remember how that works, make sure you go watch the previous video. So that means I have Na plus, which we're going to write like this, and a Cl minus. Now, the rule is it must have an overall neutral charge. The plus one from sodium will cancel out the negative one from the chlorine. They're not exchanging electrons at all. If we were to draw their ion forms in full, it would be something like this, where chlorine has now 8 valence electrons and has a negative 1 charge, and sodium has a positive charge because it lost an electron. To write the formula, we just need one of each. For every sodium we have, it will cancel out of chlorine. So to write the formula for this, we just write NaCl. We don't have to write any subscripts. The nice thing about this, so NaCl is actually your common everyday table salt. So that doesn't mean that when you look at table salt, there's one sodium, one chlorine there. It means that for every sodium, there's a chlorine, and it makes a big crystal. Let's look at a couple more slightly more complicated examples today. So example 2, aluminum and chlorine. Let's go back to our periodic table. We can see that aluminum is in our third column here, our third main column, and it has a charge of +3. Chlorine still has a charge of -1. Okay, if I put these together just as AlCl, I've got 2 more positive charges than I have negative charges, which means I need to do something like this. So Al3+, if I add in a Cl-, I have a +2 charge overall if I add those together. If I add in another Cl-, I now have a +1 charge overall. If I add another Cl-, I now have 3 negatives, 3 positives. Those now cancel out to 0 to make our compound neutral. But this time I don't have just one chlorine, I have 3. So I have to write my compound as follows, AlCl with little subscript 3. So it means I have 3 chlorines and just 1 aluminum. Now these are canceled out. So if I have a crystal of aluminum chloride, I'll have 3 chlorines for every 1 aluminum. Let's take a look at one more example. Potassium. So potassium we can find on our periodic table. It's right here. There's a +1 charge. That's our cation. So we do K+. Oxygen is our anion. It has a charge of 2- because it's in this column. So we get O2-. Now, we have a little bit different situation here. We have more negative charges than positive charges. So if I have an O2- and I have a K+, that's great, but I still have one more negative charge than positive charge, so I'm going to need one more potassium. So now they're canceled out. You can see I've got 2 potassiums for every 1 oxygen, so I get K2O, or potassium oxide. Okay, 2 big trends to notice. The first is that we need an anion and a cation, a positive ion and a negative ion, in order for this to work. The second thing you're going to notice is that the cation is almost always a metal, and the anion is almost always a nonmetal. So that means ionic bonds occur between metals and nonmetals. If the charges are the same, so if I had a +2 and a -2, then my ratio is just going to be 1 to 1. They'll be the same. If they're not, then I have to figure out how to balance them out. Okay, here's what your worksheet looks like for today. Worksheet looks like this. So it's called Making Ionic Compounds Worksheet number 1. So I'm going to give you 2 elements. I'm going to make it simple for us. We're going to make the cation element number 1 and the anion element number 2. Sodium has a +1 charge, just like in our example. Chlorine has a -1 charge, just like in our example, and then we're going to write the compound formula. So your job is to write down the ion charges, the cation and the anion. So everything in this column should be positive, everything in this column should be negative, and then try to figure out what the formula should be. So this is a great way for you to practice reading your periodic table and balancing out those cation and anion charges. Okay, thank you for watching. Good luck on the worksheet. We're going to try a little bit more complicated ones next time.